Good morning and happy new year, everybody.
That into the mic.
Am I speaking okay? And everyone can hear me just fine?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming out on this cold, frosty morning, and it's so nice to see everyone after what seems like a big gap since we last met. Hope you had lovely holidays. We have a number of guests, both online and in person here. Online, we have Faith Leach joining us again. Hi, Faith. And we have Elizabeth, who is not a guest, but our esteemed president, who has lost her voice. And that's why you're seeing me here this morning, but I'm sure she'll be back with us in person soon. And I think that's it for guests online. And then we also have Eric. Eric, could you pronounce your last name for me?
Onyam.
Onyem.
If
Okay.
you remember the tennis star Bjorn Borg,
Mhm.
Yep.
if you remember the tennis star Bjorn Borg, same kind of J, pronounced like a Y.
Okay.
It's Norwegian.
Oh.
Welcome, Eric. And Jerry Bloom has joined us again this week. And then I'm also welcoming guest Jordan Cotto from the Alzheimer's Association. So we have lots of guests, and that's great. We love that. And of course, our guest speaker will be speaking with us momentarily, Ginger Morton. We're going to start out with a Rotary Minute from Phil.
I need that. I need that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I need that, she says. For a minute, I'd like to talk about the Rotary Foundation. It's large and worldwide. At the year ending in June of 2024, the revenue was 467 million. The expenses were 347 million. The programs, Polio Plus, Rotary Grants, and other programs cost 302 million. So the net change in assets is $110 million. They took in more than they spent by $110 million. The current end of the year assets is 1,443 million. What does this mean?
We're giving too much.
It means we need to work harder at spending the money. That's what it means. We've got the money, we've got to work harder at spending it. That means applying for more grants. So that's kind of the assignment we have. Why is it so hard to spend this money? Well, because it's the way Rotarians do it. In a recent Rotary Foundation mailer, they said $50 will add a water filter to a home to reduce waterborne diseases. $50? The labor for a plumber these days in Vermont is 88 bucks an hour. How do you get $50 for a water filter? $150 to provide a hand washing station at a school. That's multiple children can wash their hands in this station all at once. $150. No way. All that pays for is the faucets and the sink, if you're lucky. So why is it so cheap? Well, because Rotarians do the work. That's why. You only need to look at our club's activities to see this. When a wheelchair ramp is needed, what is the cost? The materials. For most of this type of work, it's about half the cost. The rest is usually labor. The labor? Chris?
Yeah.
And a number of other people. Thank you very much. That's the answer. When a couple needed a roof and could not afford it, what did it cost? The cost of materials. Who did the work? Rotarians. When community benches were needed along the walkways, what was the cost? Materials and some small donation from local businesses solicited by Rotarians. Installation and maintenance? Rotarians. Trail and canoe access maintenance? Rotarians. Community service. Help at the food shelf? Rotarians. In my opinion, that's what makes Rotary such a great charity. You, Rotarians. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And now I'll turn it over to Vince to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, and thanks, Phil, for the segue. So welcome to the first in a series of speakers to discuss their charitable organizations along with the grants that they received from our club this year. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker. It's Ginger Morton. She's the president of the Williston Community Food Shelf, and she'll be discussing feeding our neighbors in need and also providing a progress update for the 3 grants that we gave them in the spring. As a reminder, the 3 grants that we gave were for Pet Care Project, Hygiene Project, and the Walk to Shop Project. Ginger's a longtime resident of Williston, and her family has shown true commitment in serving the community here in Williston. Ginger has lived in Williston with her husband Ken for 42 years, where Ken was our fire chief for 38 of those years. Over that period, they raised 2 daughters in the community, Emily and Erin, started 2 businesses, and continued to be active in Williston. Ginger began volunteering at the food shelf in 2008 when it opened, and eventually became a shift leader on the Thursday morning shift, and has become the president of the Williston Community Food Shelf. I also hear that Ginger and Ken take exciting vacations each year, and if there's time at the end of the presentation, maybe she can fill us in. So I want to bring up Ginger Morton.
Hi, all. I'm not really good at this. I am going to leave some brochures and some fact sheets about the food shelf for anybody that would like them. Good morning. Good morning. As Vince said, the Williston Community Food Shelf was established in 2008 by Jill Lang, who is a Williston citizen, and an interested group of citizens. Jill was active in the Boy Scouts at that point with her son, and the Boy Scouts would do food drives, and they would have to take the food to other towns' food shelves to have it used. And she decided that probably there was a need in Williston. She investigated, and lo and behold, in 2008, she started the food shelf. Our mission is to provide high quality food and connections to essential support services to people who need them in our community. We're a 501c3, tax exempt, 100% volunteer organization. We have no paid employees and never have. Our board members, officers, and operational staff are all volunteer. Also, and more importantly, we have no guaranteed source of funding. We are solely dependent on the generosity of community members. It really amazes me as I stand here that we've been able to support 100% volunteer, no guaranteed source of funding model for 16 years. That's amazing. Our clients are the elderly on fixed incomes, your neighbors with disabilities, and many working families whose paychecks are not enough to cover the necessities. Did you know that more than 17% of Williston's residents have incomes low enough to qualify them for participation in the nutrition assistance programs at the federal and state level, such as 3 Squares Vermont. Our target towns are Williston, St. George, and Richmond, but we will serve anyone in need without question. Our clients are asked to register during one of our shifts. We do not take any personal or financial information. All we ask is that they give us a piece of mail to prove their residency. Our target town clients are invited to shop 3 times a month. In an effort to meet the scheduling needs of our clients, we're open 3 times each week. 1 evening shift on Tuesdays, 1 daytime shift on Thursdays, and 1 weekend shift on Saturdays. We're located, as most of you know, in the Taft's Farm Shopping Center, down underneath the Aveda Salon. We are very, very fortunate to consider Hannaford, Panera Bread, and Starbucks in Williston as our community partners. Each shift, they donate food to us. Hannaford donates meat, produce, bakery products, and new this year what they consider their center store products, which are Hannaford brand and Nature's Promise brand of all the canned and packaged goods in the center of the store. Panera Bread obviously donates bread, and Starbucks donates to us coffee sometimes, but usually the little pastries that they have and breakfast sandwiches, which, by the way, our clients love. As Sally can attest, our volunteers run around to each of these generous partners every shift, and we bring the donations back to the food shop. I've already been to Panera and Starbucks this morning and dropped the stuff off. We continue to reach out to people in our community that are underserved to let them know we exist. One elderly housing community in town had set up a delivery program for their shut-ins, which is a really, really nice thing. We are not allowed to deliver because our insurance prohibits it, since we are all volunteer. If we had a paid staff person that would be covered under workers' comp insurance and those sorts of things, we would be allowed to deliver, but we are not allowed to. In addition, we provide vacation bags to our families with children to help them through the times when school is on break and the availability of the federally funded breakfast and lunch programs cease. We work with the town library and their bookmobile that visits neighborhoods and senior housing communities by providing them with healthy snacks and information about the food shelf so they can give it to their patrons. We strive to give our clients additional support by informing them of other services and resources within the community. One example of that is that we've had great success communicating to our clients about the VSNP program for spaying and neutering pets. Many, many, many of our clients have applied for and been accepted into that program. Okay, here's the statistics. In our first fiscal year, 2008-9, our annual food budget, which supplements what we get for donations, was $9,000. And we served about 900 people representing, 900 families representing 2,700 people. In 24-25, we are expecting to spend a minimum of $10,000 per month to buy groceries for our clients. We also spend $4,000 each month on rent and utilities. For the calendar year that ended 12/31/24, we served 4,044 families, which represented 10,308 people. It's a lot of people. We are presently serving about 380 families a month. Of these, about 100 are senior citizens and about 260 are children. In 16 years, we have served 43,471 families, which represents 124,026 people. That's a lot. As I mentioned, the food shelf has no guaranteed source of funding. Over the years, we've received a few large donations and many smaller ones from community members and businesses. We also apply for some smaller grants each year, primarily through the Vermont Food Bank. For the past couple of years, we've received between $1,000 and $5,000 each year from the Williston Social Organization Committee. Last year, as Vince mentioned, Rotary gave us $3,000 grants, which I'll talk about again in a minute. Presently, a very generous member of our community has agreed to do a little research for us into some other possible grant opportunities. Despite many attempts at writing letters and going to select board meetings, the town continues to choose not to add funding for the Williston Community Food Shelf as a line item on its annual budget. The Food Shelf Board is trying to make the select board realize that transitional, affordable, and elderly housing projects that they approve not only increase the need for police, fire, rescue, and educational services, but they also increase the need for food shelves. I cannot get them to make that connection. I did hear this week, on a happier note, that the select board has chosen to give us $10,000 from the leftover ARPA funds, and I'm very grateful for that. We will use that $10,000 to purchase a 1-month supply of groceries. I don't know that I need to go over what we need with you all. Peanut butter, jelly, pasta sauce, pasta, you know, a lot of food. Unfortunately, because we cannot guarantee that homemade items are made in commercial kitchens or commercially rated kitchens, we cannot accept homemade food items. And due to space limitations, the only non-food donations we accept are personal hygiene products, pet food, winter hats, mittens, and socks, and laundry detergent. Okay, Rotary specific. The $3,000 that you generously donated to us year was used as follows. $1,000 was used to buy canned cat food at a reduced rate from Village Hardware on Essex Road. Many of our clients have pets to keep them company. We do get donations of dry cat and dog food pretty regularly, but donations of canned food is unusual. It's important to be able to meet the client's needs for their furry friends. We are very thankful to Village Hardware as well as the Rotary, because Village Hardware was willing to sell us the cat food at their cost, which was really nice. Another $1,000 was used to buy shaving cream, shampoo, and deodorant for our clients. As we all know, hygiene plays an important part in your health. We also know that personal hygiene products are not cheap. We have a reasonably good program in place with local dentists for donations of toothbrushes and toothpaste, but your donation helped us get some of the other necessities. And finally, can you hold this? We bought carts. These are the carts from the Walk to Shop program, which you may have heard of. There was a thing in the Observer about it the other day. We have many clients who are walkers. Maple Tree Place, Zephyr Place, other Taft's Corners senior living there, and they were schlepping big boxes, which just doesn't work. So we got these nifty little carts through Walk to Shop. They are really sturdy. They have big wheels for snow. They come with a lunchbox. But the clients love them. And it warms my heart when I go through Taft's Corners to see people with these carts. It makes a huge difference. I would like to thank you all for choosing to donate to the Williston Community Food Shelf. You really have made a difference for our clients. In the words of Hillary Clinton, takes a village. Does anybody have any questions?
I've got one, it was brought up earlier, but years ago, the town each year would have a huge event that was, sponsored by, it started with the police department, and I think the food shelf got involved, and that was the Chowder Festival.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors that there's, an effort to revive that too.
I gave it my all last year to try to bring it back, and it's still on the books. The problem is restaurants are short-staffed and they're not willing to give up their Sunday. Food costs are huge. They're also not willing to donate 11 gallons of chowder. I found three places last year that were willing to participate, 3 restaurants. I haven't gone too far to try to get sponsors, because if I don't have restaurants, it's kind of silly to sponsor them. I know our costs will be significantly higher. Our largest cost is to Vermont Tent Company for all the tents. I'm guessing, my daughter happens to be in that business. I'm guessing that our cost for that will be double what it was before. So I would, need to get a lot more money from sponsors, but as I say, I hesitate to do that until I can get restaurants that are willing. Hannaford used to support us. I think I can still get a couple of things from them. But if you have any contact with restaurants, that's my biggest issue. I am ready to go. We've got it all. I'm ready to go. We've got the model, but I can't do it without people that are willing to give us chowder. Any other questions?
What is your relationship with the Vermont Food Shelf? How does that relationship work with you?
Okay, hey, that's a good question. Have you heard of Feeding America? The national feeding program? Okay. The Vermont Food Bank is the Vermont agency that belongs to Feeding America. So Feeding America governs food shelves. Any food shelf in Vermont, therefore, has to belong to the Vermont Food Bank under the Feeding America umbrella. So the Vermont Food Bank, we pay a small annual fee to belong. We are given the opportunity to buy being the key word, a limited number of groceries from them once a month. There haven't been very many available, but we order it and they deliver it. They also provide free, which is lovely, produce in our monthly delivery if they have some. And once each month, there is what is called a produce pickup for Chittenden County, for any member organizations in Chittenden County. The first Tuesday of the month at University Mall, we can go and get stuff there. They also inspect us every month, which is next week. They assure that someone, me right now, has the food safety training, and they require that. They do have a few limited grant opportunities, $1,000 here and there, but does that answer your question? Any others? No? All right, thank you. Yeah, Ellie.
Well, just circling back to Vince's intro, where are the exciting vacations?
Well, this year's a rough one. Last April, we are Viking River Cruise people, if anybody wonders. We've been to several of those, but last April, we did their special 80th anniversary of Normandy cruise, which was really wonderful. And, oh, by the way, I happened to be able to spend a week in Scotland with my cousin. And then last fall, we did the Mississippi River for our 45th wedding anniversary from New Orleans to Memphis. That was super fun. We are taking our whole family, 12 of them, to Disney for a week, next 10 days. And then we're doing Portugal in April and Scotland for a wedding in August. So there's a lot. And we have a wedding in our family. Anything else? Thank you. I'm gonna run because I have to go run a shift, but thank you very much.
Ginger? Hi, Ginger, this is Leslie. I'm online. I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you so very much. I am so proud to be a resident of Williston, and witness the work that you all do and the community does to support you. So thank you.
And thank you for being Saturday morning super volunteers.
So Ginger, in appreciation for your speaking today, we make a donation to the Williston School Mentoring Program in your name.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger. You look like you have your hands full, but I would like you to do one more thing before you depart, which is pull the raffle tickets and read the last 3 digits.
Last 3. Okay, who's gonna be the winner? What are we winning?
10 whole dollars
Well,
and a chance to win $100.
Oh, all right, ready? 0, 2, 9. Oh, have a great day, you guys.
Oh, that was very enlightening. Vince, thank you for inviting Ginger to fill us in on the activities of the food shelf. Next up, we have Rick McGuire with our inspiration.
So as you all know, President Joe Biden has declared today as a National Day of Mourning honoring President Jimmy Carter on the day of his funeral in Washington. And given Carter's work post-presidency, who better to serve as our inspiration for today? As we all know, Carter served as our 39th president from 1977 to 81. And I would say that most people would agree that he was more distinguished for his work following his presidency than during. During his presidency, of course, he had to deal with inflation, a recession, energy crisis, the Iranian hostage crisis, among others. But on the positive side, he was also an architect of the Camp David Accord, which eventually led to a 1979 peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. Following his presidency, Jimmy Carter had a long record of diplomacy and humanitarian work, including work with the Habitat for Humanity. And of course, we have one of our own club members who was involved with that. And we had, I found online, you can find everything online. I found online a picture of our club member, which there. That's Charlie when he was much younger, about 10 years ago or so. With his wife and, of course, Jimmy Carter.
1991.
1991.
Very nice.
So I found several quotes from Carter that I found inspiring, and I'm going to read these without, just they're kind of separate quotes, but they're kind of all related. Quote, earlier in my life, I thought the things that mattered were the things that you could see, like your car, your house, your wealth, your property, your office. But as I've grown older, I've become convinced that the things that matter most are the things that you can't see. The love you share with others, your inner purpose, your comfort with who you are. The bond of our common humanity is stronger than the divisiveness of our fears and prejudices. We have a tendency to condemn people who are different from us, to define their sins as paramount and our own sinfulness as being insignificant. And finally, wherever life takes us, there are always moments of wonder. And then this morning, I was listening to public radio and I heard that Jimmy Carter had a favorite song, and it was Imagine by John Lennon. So I just want to read the last little bit of that song. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Thank you.
Very timely and wonderful inspiration. Okay, we have time for some announcements now, and so I'll invite up Sherry to talk about the Story Slam, and then Chris will talk to us about the Martin Luther King Jr. Day observance.
Okay.
So it's hard to follow Jimmy Carter. But, so Rafa is, on a trip right now. So I've agreed to kind of pick things up a little bit with the Skip Story Slam and try to pull in a few last minute, pull some things together. As you all know, and hope maybe you don't, it's February 8th, which is a Saturday from 3 to 5 at the Williston Central School. And so quite a bit different than last year. We less setup and breakdown because we don't have to do all the chairs and all that because we're having it in the auditorium. But there are some things that we still need. She had mentioned that the open rules, like parking coordination, and I think since it's at the school and there's so much parking, I don't see that it's necessary unless somebody thinks otherwise, for us to have somebody out there doing anything about parking. I'll leave that kind of up to you guys. I'm not gonna be that person. And, and I'm not sure that it's really necessary because the parking lot is supposed to get plowed by the school, whomever the service they have that plows. So if it snows, it's supposed to be cleared. So other than that, I think we should be okay. Recording the event, last year, I think Vince tried to record or did record the event. We don't have anyone this year so far to record the event. I'm inclined to think that if people want to see the event, they come to the event. So, we can keep looking for someone to record it, but if it doesn't happen, I don't know that it's the end of the world. So we'll keep working on that. So if anyone here is like, oh, of course I can record that, that'd be easy, please let me know, and we'll take it from there. The big thing is going to be food. So we have the community room that's right next to the auditorium, and we're still figuring out how to do hot drinks. And it sounds like cookies and sandwiches, maybe something savory. But so I'm going to be looking for people to commit to baking goods, and that's men and women, because I know we have a tendency to look to Jude and Leslie for their awesome baking, but I think a lot of us are capable to help out with that. I'm gonna start baking things and putting them in the freezer and then pull them out on game day. So really what we need though are bodies. I know that the committee has actively been working on this project for a few months now, but we really need, I think Rafa's a little bit nervous that people aren't committing to being there at the event on Saturday. So I'm hoping that all of you can just at least let us know that you think you're gonna be there, or you're definitely not gonna be there. Like I know Armand and Leslie are traveling, but for other folks, I'm not really sure what's happening. So this is one of our bigger fundraisers now. It has a potential to bring in about $6,000. There's 326 seats. You can do the math at $20 a ticket. So, that could be pretty decent for us. So, and then also for you all, if you want your tickets, you can get them online. And we have posters. We have some nice posters that Susan's printed up there on the table over there. So you can either pay in person here, we can keep track of everybody like we did last year. And then you don't have to pay the fees, the 7 days fees, or you can buy them through 7 days, and it's a small fee, Susan, a couple dollars per ticket. So either pay here or pay online. We do ask that members pay the $20, even though you'll be working it. And then if you're going to take posters, we can always have more printed up, but just keep track of where you put them. Maybe message myself or Susan in the coming days where you're putting a poster, just so that we can communicate to you guys, so you're not all stepping on each other's toes and going to the same spot unnecessarily. So I'm not sure how easy that'll be to manage, but we can try. And that's it. Any questions?
For the benefit of any guests or newer Rotarians, can you give the 15-second elevator pitch of what this is and quickly how it operates?
Story Slam. So yeah, if anyone knows of the Moth Radio Hour, it's like that. So people, we have a theme this year of magic. Last year, the theme was hope. This year, so people are invited to tell a 5-minute story, and we time it, we keep it at 5 minutes, with around the theme. And we have 3 judges. We have Bill Schubart, Billy James, who's a magician. So since our theme is magic, that seems really awesome. He agreed to do it. And Helen Weston, who's in theater. They will be the judges. And there's criteria for every story, that they stay on the theme, that they stay in the 5 minutes, and a few other how captivating they are, I guess, and how they resonate with the audience. So, yeah, so then we will have prizes for the winners at the end. But it's every person gets 5 minutes. We are going to have a few fixed storytellers. So if you guys know anybody, any real storytellers, or if you, I'm thinking Ted, he's not here. We have room. We learned last year, we had plenty of time to have some plants. We can have some definite storytellers, but then everybody else will put their name in a hat and we'll pull people. So they won't know when they're going up or if they're gonna get to go up. So there's that element of surprise for them, which I think makes it a bit fun. But I don't know if I got everything.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on this?
I have a question, Sherry. Could you leave maybe 5 or 6 posters at the church for me?
Yes. Do you want the big ones or the little ones? There's,
Whatever you want to give me.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. 6? Did she say 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, Aaron.
This is probably a really stupid question, but as far as
No
social
question is
media,
stupid.
I say that all the time, it's just not. As far as social media, like if I take a photo of that, can I share it on my Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and?
I can send you the file. I also
Okay.
wanted to mention, I put it up as a,
I have posted it as a Facebook event on our club's Facebook page. A reminder, if you have not liked our Facebook page or not following it, please do so. A lot of you are not. I know that. But you can share the event, I think, from the page, but if anyone would like the digital file to do their own posts, I was very happy to send that to you. So Erin
Yes.
and Lisa, okay, good. So I will send that out. It's formatted to fit with a Facebook post.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the slam? So you're all going to be there, right? If you're in town, it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna really need to pull people in to help with the food. I know Rafa's a little concerned, because some people, of course, that were helping last year aren't able to help this year because they're gonna be out of town, but it doesn't mean that other people that weren't there last year can't be there this year. So we just really need to, try to pull people in.
yeah, and Sherry, isn't it simpler this year, the food?
It's so much simpler, and well, we don't have setup and breakdown for tables. It's bad in a way that we don't have a kitchen, so that's gonna be the biggest challenge, is doing the hot drinks remotely. But we'll figure that out. But then the food and everything we're gonna have in the community room, so it's gonna be pretty contained, and we'll be able to clean up. Should be pretty easy.
Sharon, you do have a kitchen in the mentor room, a full kitchen.
Oh, I forgot about the mentoring
it's
room,
right
and
next
I'm
door.
in it, like, yeah, I'm
No.
cooking in it today.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah,
okay.
you have a stove and a refrigerator and counter space.
The auditorium and the
You
community
do
room.
have a kitchen, but you obviously need to make arrangements.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharon.
Anything else, anyone? Online, no? All right, cool, thanks.
Well, Sherry provided a really great segue. Before the Bill Skiff Story Slam, we have the Martin Luther King Holiday Observance event. And I too have brought some posters, and Aaron, I would love, and Lisa, if you would take pictures of this, or actually Susan, if you can send them copies, because I think this is on our website as well.
I have it digitally, yeah, and I have created a post on our Facebook page for
Okay,
that.
So if you wouldn't mind anybody putting this on your Facebook page, that'd be really great. I'll leave those over here. I'm gonna take one just to speak from it. So Martin Luther King, the holiday is on Monday, the 20th. This event is Sunday, the 19th, from 3 to 4:30, also in the Williston Central School auditorium.
So right now, we're very interested in promoting this, obviously. So there's a theme, it's called Dare to Dream. Dream of equity, dream of justice, dream of hope, and dream of inclusion, which also is the same equity statements that you see in the town. The town has equity statement, and these 4 items are part of that. So we wanted to we have a keynote speaker. I think he's been I understand from Rick that he had spoken to Rotary before. His name is Dr. Reverend Arnold Thomas, and he's a retired pastor of the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Jericho. He's got a long biography. But this year's a little bit different. The past years, we've done this online. We skipped last year. And this year, we're trying to involve the school and some other groups as well. So we're featuring a dramatic reading of the MLK's and abridged version of I Have a Dream speech, and that'll be 3, maybe 4 CBU students who are going to be doing that. We have several musical selections by the Williston Central School Baritones. We heard them perform at Christmas, so that's also good. And then we have an exhibit of Wilmington Central School, or Wilmington, I always say that because I lived in Wilmington, Williston Central School student art, poetry, and essays. We're not quite sure how extensive that's going to be yet because we're just beginning to collect that information. So it's going to be very different. We're partnering with the Williston, the Federated Church. We're partnering with, let me make sure I don't want to forget anybody. So we're partnering with the Williston Federated Church, Williston Racial Equity Partners, and the Williston Central Schools and Champlain Valley Union Schools. So we're really excited that we're turning this into a community event. We'll see. Several of you have volunteered to help. So I know Chris Stewart has agreed to be a greeter. At least you put your name down. You're gonna be at the door. I think Ellie and Susan have agreed to hand out programs. And Sally and Ted have volunteered to help set up the exhibit. You'll have to, that's on hold. We'll see. We may not need your help. I was hoping that we'd have a huge response, but we'll see if we do or not from the students. So we're really excited about this, like just sort of continuing Sherry's appeal. We need you to be there. It would be great if you could be there. Great if you could help us advertise this. We're really excited about trying to do something new, but also a little nervous like Rafa is. We need to fill an auditorium. We'd like to fill the auditorium. So please share this on your social media pages. Help us promote it. We've got posters going up as we speak. So hopefully you'll see them around town. Take one, Aaron, if you've got a place for it, or other people, if you have a business where you can hang the poster. Does anybody have any questions about, this is next, not this Sunday, the next following Sunday, the 19th.
And it's free.
And it is free. Yes, it is absolutely free. So, and I should say that Paul Iyer, 3:00. Paul Iyer and Crystal Lee McSweeney and who else is on our committee? Oh, Debbie Ingram, which she would normally be up here, but she needed to be in Georgia for a family matter. So she's, I'm not sure she'll be able to make the event or not, but any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Okay then, any other timely announcements? All right, Chris.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to remind everybody here that on Saturday, there is a celebration of life for Ken Stone. I believe it's at 1.
Yes.
And it'd be great to see faces from Rotary there. It's gonna be upstairs. I'll be running the lift. I'm a certified lift operator. And I also wanted to mention while I was thinking of it, there's a handful of us from this club that help out at the food shelf. Sally does a ton of stuff, but every now and then we go there and help unload pallets of food. And one of the most remarkable things, and as a member of this church, I've known this, but there is a woman named Jane Stickney who worked with Bill Skiff for years as a school counselor. And there's a man named Larry Pillsbury. These are people that are in their upper 80s that do so much for the food shelf. and I mean physically, they carry boxes of, you name it, produce, canned goods, and Larry's like the Energizer Bunny, he just keeps going. And it's so inspirational to be around those people. So those are my happy things, and let's start off with some happy or sad things.